Tax me. Tax my estate. I want you to.
Those of us who have greater wealth, we want to be taxed more.
My taxes should be raised, and other millionaires' taxes should be raised.
Millionaires like myself should pay higher taxes, starting with the idea that we earn more money.
I don't want to live in a country with a small number of rich people and a huge number of poor people.
Every time Congress touches the tax system, I seem to come out ahead. And that has struck me as quite remarkable.
I think America used to be the beacon of hope for the rest of the world. We are now the beacon of greed.
We have a debt. We should pay back to our society, not continue to just take more.
Tax cuts are good in textbooks. They work great. Trickle-down theory, what a concept. If it only worked.
I'm calling on other millionaires to give back, not seek bigger tax advantages.
It isn't communist and it isn't socialist to say, gosh, if you have more, you can pay more, that your contributions back to the society, presumably for what the society has given to you, should be higher.
I know in my own life, I benefited from public education, from public infrastructure. I built my career based on technology that used to be called the Defense Advanced Research Project Network and is now called the Internet. That was paid for by your tax dollars.
Why I deserve more tax cuts than anybody else has always eluded me.
So much money. So what am I going to do with another $20, $30 million, $15 million, $10 million? I think most rich people don't even know they get a tax cut because their accountants take care of it, their lawyers take care of it. They don't feel it either way.
My tax rate as an individual taxpayer at the top of the income bracket is frankly lower than anybody listening to this conversation this afternoon.
The federal deficit will go away a lot faster.
Why should we wallow in our wealth when everybody else is struggling to get by?
The progressive taxation is what makes a society work.
The money will be there to fix bridges and roads.
The argument has been that if you raise taxes, you inhibit the incentives for people to work hard, to accumulate capital. As somebody who teaches at a business school and has studied economics considerably, I think the evidence in favor of this proposition is extremely limited. There is, in fact, very little to no evidence that says that higher tax rates actually inhibit economic activity.
I believe that we need to restore the levels of taxation that existed before Ronald Reagan made the first set of tax cuts.
We've corrupted the system so that the wealthiest of Americans have a lesser average tax rate than the middle class. They have a lesser tax rate than even some of the entry-level people. Many of the wealthiest in this nation pay no tax. They shove it overseas, they put it in tax avoidance schemes, and pay no tax. The rest of them pay something around 15–20%, when the average hard-working American pays closer to 40%.
This country was founded, one of its founding principles was no taxation without representation. Now, we have no taxation and no representation because the representatives don't listen to the people in their district. They listen to their donors. And the donors say, oh, don't raise my taxes. You know, hey, you coming over to that barbecue on Sunday? And like the guy went, yeah, I like that barbecue. I've been going for the last 3 years. I wouldn't miss it. Joe's cool. I don't want to raise his taxes because then he'll have less money to donate to me. Meanwhile, the people who are bringing the food to the barbecue and cooking the food at the barbecue and slaughtering the animals, or hopefully harvesting the vegetables for the barbecue, are feeling the pain because they only have one car and they drive over the potholes. And the millionaire whose barbecue they service has 4 cars.
It is incumbent upon the wealthiest, given all the problems this country faces, to be first in line to say, yes, we're willing to contribute to try and get this country back to where everybody thinks it should be.
It's now you got your car, get shot, get a flat tire. You don't make it to the barbecue.
Those of us that have been successful need to give back.
Tax me. That's what we want. Tax people like us because we want to give back.